What's up, agents? So you finally hit level 40 in the Division 2. First off, congratulations. That's a huge milestone. But now comes the real challenge, the endgame. With dozens of gear sets, brand sets, specializations, and exotics available, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. I know, as I felt exactly like that the first time I played the Division 2. Which build should you chase first? Which one will give you the best results for solo play, missions, and farming gear? In this video, I'll break down the best builds to chase when you first hit level 40, focusing on powerful, easy-to-assemble loadouts that work right now with what you can farm quickly. Let's get into the video. Once you hit level 40, the Division 2 transforms. Enemies have increased health, damage, and abilities, all matching your player level and gear. Gear starts dropping at max level, and endgame content opens up, like heroic missions, countdown, legendary difficulty, and more. You unlock the SHD watch, and SHD levels are also introduced. The SHD level system is an infinite progression system that replaces the traditional gear score after reaching level 40. It allows you to continue improving your character's stats by spending SHD points in categories like offense, defense, utility, scavenging, and miscellaneous. At level 40, expertise is also introduced. Expertise is a progression system that allows you to enhance the performance of your weapons, gear, and skills. It's divided into two parts, expertise level and proficiency rank. Expertise level determines the maximum number of upgrades you can apply to a specific item type, example weapons, armor, and skills. Proficiency rank, on the other hand, is a separate system that tracks your mastery of a specific item, and once you reach the maximum proficiency rank, you can then begin to upgrade your expertise level. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a more comprehensive video on SHD levels, expertise, and proficiency. And last, but certainly not least, your specialization or the specialization tree you'll add to your build becomes critical to your playstyle, and instead of just throwing on the highest stat gear, you need to build for synergy, combining gear sets, brand bonuses, and weapon talents around a focused role. This is the moment where the game starts rewarding smart builds. So let's talk about the types of builds you should be looking for first. When you hit level 40, the most important thing to understand is how gear builds work in the Division 2. Every piece of equipment you wear, your mask, chest, backpack, etc., has a core attribute. And there are three core colors that define your build direction. First, you have the red core or weapon damage, the DPS builds. Red builds focus entirely on raw weapon damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. Your main job is simple: eliminate enemies as quickly as possible before they can hurt you. This type of build is ideal for solo play, speed farming missions, heroic level bounties. You'll pair high fire rate weapons with gear talents like Obliterate or Glass Cannon. These builds are squishy, you won't have much armor, so movement and positioning will be key. Second, you have the blue core or armor and survivability, the tank builds. Blue builds maximize total armor, armor regeneration, and shield strength. You become a frontline tank, soaking up damage, drawing aggro, and controlling enemy movement. It's great for legendary content, countdown with random teams, holding objectives, or playing solo at high difficulty. Blue builds often used shields, crowd control skills, or bonus armor on kill perks to stay alive. While they don't do as much damage, they are essential in a team play and for newer players who want to stay alive longer. And finally, third, you have the yellow core or skill power, essentially the skill builds. Yellow builds amplify skill damage, skill haste, duration, and efficiency. Your turret, drone, hive, or seeker mines do most of the killing while you stay in cover. It's ideal for solo play, control point farming, staying effective if, like myself, you don't have great weapon aim. These builds shine with talents like Combined Arms, In Sync, or Future Perfect, and gear like Empress International or Hardwired. The biggest advantage? Skills don't miss shots, making them extremely reliable at high difficulty. Some do require more supervision on your part, such as the artillery turret or the handheld skills like the chem launcher or sticky bomb, but I would stay away from those on your first build. Remember, we're keeping it simple. Now here's the key advice. For your first build at level 40, don't overthink it. Focus on either a red or a yellow build. Why? Red builds will get you through missions fast and are easy to put together from targeted loot. They are squishier and you are easier to take down, but to get through hard or even challenging content, you'll be just fine. Yellow builds keep you safe as you let your skills do most of the work and are forgiving even if your gear isn't fully optimized yet. More survivability than a full red core build, I would still pay attention to enemies that will try to flank you or rushers as they will try to get you. Start with one color, specialize your gear around it, and add utility pieces as needed. Once you're comfortable and have better gear, you can begin exploring hybrid builds like red-yellow damage hybrids or blue-yellow tanky skill builds. But that comes later. Now we start looking at builds. Let me apologize in advance. There's going to be a lot of information, so you might need to take some notes. In order to simplify this for you guys, I will separate the builds in 3 sections. A red core DPS build, then a blue core tank build, and finally a yellow core skill build. Are you ready? Good. Here we go. Let's start with a DPS build. The meta at the moment in the Division 2, and what pretty much everyone considers the most accessible high damage build you can make, the Striker's Battle Gear DPS build. This set focuses on increasing weapon damage and precision through maintaining stacks with fast-firing weapons like SMGs or assault rifles. My choice of preference has always been the assault rifles. Your gear setup should prioritize your own playstyle. Do you like the run-and-gun style or the more mid to long range pure damage style? If I was starting new today, this is what I would do. I would set my first build with the following. Of course, I would start with 4 pieces of Striker: holster, knee pads, gloves, and backpack. The backpack will provide the risk management talent, which increases total weapon damage gained per stack from 0.65% to 0.90% at 100 stacks. Please remember, however, that you will lose 1 stack per second when you're between 0 and 50 stacks, and 2 stacks per second when you're between 50 and 100 stacks. I would then add 1 Grupo Sombra chest piece for plus 13% crit hit damage, and add the Obliterate talent, which increases total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds and stacks up to 10 times. And finally, 1 Seska mask for plus 8% crit hit chance. If you're lucky early, you'll find the exotic Coyotes mask and add that one instead. This exotic mask adds plus 15% weapon damage, plus 6% crit hit chance, as well as plus 12% crit hit damage. Finally, the talent Pact Instincts will grant you and your allies a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. From 0 to 15 meters, plus 25% crit hit damage. From 15 to 25 meters, plus 10% crit hit damage and plus 10% crit hit chance. And finally, at 25 plus meters, plus 25% crit hit chance. A variant for the mask would be to add a Fenris mask instead, which would add plus 10% assault rifle damage as opposed to the plus 13% crit hit damage from the Grupo Sombra mask. For weapons, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, I would go with an assault rifle. The FAMAS, F2000, Carbine 7, or Police M4, anything fast and stable. Of course, if you've had incredible luck and were able to find the high-end named Lexington AR, or even better, the exotic St. Elmo's Engine AR, I would absolutely use that. For your secondary weapon, I would use a shotgun like the ACS-12 with the Optimist talent, or the named high-end version called the Rock and Roll, which has the perfectly extra talent, giving it plus 50% magazine capacity. If you're short on shotguns, I would use any fast-firing SMG like a Vector, SMG-9, or CMMG Banshee with the killer talent. For skills, since I'm a solo player, I would use the Reviver Hive in case I do get downed, and I would add the Striker Drone for added DPS and to attract aggro. For your specialization, I would start with the Gunner specialization, as it provides 10% bonus armor on kill, plus 5% rate of fire on kill for 5 seconds, and generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. This build melts enemies in missions and control points, and it's very beginner friendly at level 40. On to build number 2. For build number 2, if you prefer to take hits and control the battlefield, the Foundry Bulwark Tank build is a fantastic option. It gives you armor regen and bonus shielding, making you almost unkillable in certain setups. It will take you much longer to take down enemies, but it will also keep you alive a lot longer than any other build. Start with 4 pieces Foundry Bulwark: mask, holster, gloves, and chest. The chest piece will increase the makeshift repairs talent from 25% to 35%. In other words, whenever you or your shield take damage, 35% of that amount is repaired to both over 10 seconds. I would then add 1 piece Grupo Sombra for plus 13% crit hit damage, and finally 1 piece Bellstone Armory, specifically the backpack, for plus 1% armor regeneration, and then I would add the talent Bloodsucker. This talent refreshes a stack of plus 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds, with a maximum stack of 10 each time you kill an enemy. Of course, there is a lot to say about using the Memento backpack for this build, so if you were extremely lucky early and you have the exotic backpack, I would use that instead. For your weapons, I would use an assault rifle, same as before, FAMAS, F2000, Carbine 7, or Police M4. In order to specify the talent, you need to see if you have the Technician specialization unlocked. If you do, I would go with Flatline, which provides 15% weapon damage to pulsed enemies. You would accomplish this by equipping a long rails under barrel attachment called the Linked Laser Pointer that pulses targets at which it's aimed. If you do not have the Technician specialization unlocked yet, I would use either Frenzy, Killer, or Optimist. For your second weapon, I suggest a good SMG or rifle you like to play with. So Vector, SMG-9, or CMMG Banshee for SMGs, and ACRSS, Lightweight M4, or Urban MDR for rifles. Add a different but complementary talent to the one you'll choose for your AR. Just use what you're most comfortable playing with. Of course, you'll have to equip the shield, either the Bulwark or the Crusader shield. If you want to use ARs or SMGs 100%, you'll have to use the Crusader shield, as the Bulwark shield only lets you use a pistol. For the last skill, the Artificer Hive, if you have the Technician specialization unlocked, as it shoots out fast-acting micro-drones to your deployed skills, in our case the Crusader Ballistic Shield, repairing them, temporarily boosting their performance, and extending their duration. If not, I would use the Assault Drone or Reviver Hive. For specialization, I feel like we've talked about this a lot in this part of the episode. If you don't have the Technician specialization unlocked, then I would suggest the Firewall specialization for the increase to shield health as well as the increased regeneration rate of the shield. If you do have it unlocked, my suggestion is of course the Technician specialization. It offers +1 skill tier, which will absolutely increase the shield's effectiveness and provide additional benefits like faster movement and reload speed. And of course, let you use the Artificer Hive. It's a much slower build for TTK, but ideal for heroic control points, legendary content, and team play. And now for our last build. If you're playing solo or want to breeze through missions, a skill build is where it's at. With the right gear, your skills do the killing for you, while you stay as safe as possible in cover. You can go with 4 pieces of the hardwired gear set, which offers plus 15% skill haste, plus 30% repair skills, and plus 15% skill damage with the talent feedback loop. With this talent, whenever you use or cancel a skill, your other skill's cooldown is automatically reduced by 30 seconds, while increasing total skill damage and repair by 10% for 20 seconds. Feedback loop can occur once every 20 seconds. I would go with mask, holster, gloves, and chest to benefit from its talent Positive Reinforcement, which increases the feedback loop skill damage and repair bonus from plus 10% to plus 25%. Or you could go with a more easily accessible build. This is what I would do, but please take the time to evaluate how you enjoy playing. I would start with 3-piece Impress International, mask, knee pads, and chest, which offer plus 10% skill health and damage, as well as plus 8% skill efficiency. On the chest piece, I would add the talent Kinetic Momentum. Basically, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increase total skill damage by 1.5%, and total skill repair by 2% up to 15 stacks. Then I would add 2-piece Hana-Yu, backpack, and gloves. On the backpack, I would have the talent Combined Arms. Essentially, shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 25%. For the holster, there are many choices you can make here. You could add that last piece of Hana-Yu, which would add plus 15% weapon damage. You could also add 1 piece of Wyvern for plus 8% skill damage, or 1 piece of Brazos for plus 10% skill haste. So many choices. I would personally add the Hana-Yu holster for plus 15% weapon damage. However, you choose with how you like to play the game. For your primary weapons, I would use an assault rifle, same as before, FAMAS, F2000, Carbine 7, or Police M4. For talents, pick the one that aligns more with how you like to play the game. Some talents are better with skill builds, such as Flatline, Future Perfect, or In Sync. Your pick. If again Lady Luck was on your side and you were able to find the Capacitor Assault Rifle, I would absolutely use it. It offers the talent Capacitance, so shooting enemy builds stack to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage. After 5 seconds, stacks decay 1 per second, plus for each skill tier, you gain 7.5% weapon damage. For your second weapon, I suggest a good rifle, ACR SS, Lightweight M4, or Urban MDR, with a complementary talent to the ones I listed before. If you were lucky, you might be able to add the Harmony named rifle, which provides the perfectly in sync talent. Hitting an enemy grants plus 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Plus, if you're also using a non-shield skill or damaging an enemy with a skill, it grants plus 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Finally, damage increase are doubled while both buffs are active at the same time. For skills, absolutely go with the Striker Drone and Assault Turret. Nothing more to add here. For specialization, my choice would absolutely be the Technician, which adds +1 skill tier, which will absolutely increase your skill's effectiveness and provide the same additional benefits we described earlier, as well as the Artificer Hive. This build is easy to farm, safe to play, and highly effective for missions, bounties, and even heroic when optimized. Did I say I was sorry before? Gosh, that was a lot of information. Okay, you've picked your build, now what? Well, it's time to farm smart. Use the targeted loot map daily, go after specific pieces you need to either make or improve your build. Run Countdown. It's one of the fastest ways to get set pieces and exotics. Use the crafting bench to fill in missing pieces until you can get your hands on your god roll pieces. The recalibration station lets you swap talents and improve stat rolls over time. Follow my 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3 methods. I did cover them in another video, which I will link in the description below. Most importantly, build around what you already have. Don't wait for perfect rolls to get started. Remember, incorrect talents and attributes maximized will hurt your efficiency and your build's synergy, while mid-level perfect talents and attributes will absolutely help you and make you better. Here are a few final thoughts before you jump into the grind. Don't try to build everything at once. Pick one build and focus. Save solid gear pieces even if they don't fit your current loadout. Your future builds will benefit from having them in the stash. Play around with your specialization tree and unlock bonuses that match your role. Pay attention to gear talents and how they synergize with your skills or playstyle, and remember, this game is all about customization and experimentation. The best build is the one that matches your comfort and fun level. That's it for today's video, agents. I know it was a lot of details packed in one video, and all I hope is that this helped you decide which build to chase now that you're level 40. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know what build you're currently working on or which one you want me to cover next. I'll see you in the next video. Hope to see you out there, agent.